Good morning. Welcome to Brush and Needle Northwest. Grab a cup of coffee, tea, or your beverage of choice. I am drinking my coffee this morning from this beautiful mug given to me by my sister. Has all these lovely spring flowers, and it is more like a bowl than a mug. So I get a good cup of coffee in the morning. Nice big cup of coffee in the morning. I can be found on Instagram, Ravelry, and YouTube as Brush and Needle NW. Love it if you'd give me a like and a follow and create a beautiful community. My first finished object today is my Ranunculus. I absolutely loved this knit. I will definitely make another one. I knit this from Little Wing Fiber yarn that I purchased at Flock last year. And it is fingering and Suri held double. The colorway is in the band, and the Cumulous Suri is, the colorway is diamond. I knit it on number 9 needles, which is 5.5 millimeter. I loved the yarn. I would absolutely purchase more of their yarn. I loved the way this whole thing came about. I did not knit mine. It is a very versatile pattern, and I did not knit mine with as much positive ease as it calls for. I like my sweaters to be a little bit more fitted. So as you can see, it's a little bit more fitted to my shoulders. It's getting pulled down right now because of the sound thing. It doesn't do that if I don't have my microphone on. My next finished object is my Anthology throw. The Anthology throw is a paid-for pattern by Curious Handmade, which is Helen Stewart. I knit this from the Cami Jo Knits, who's from Denmark, in her advent from last year, which was based on Little Women, which is one of my all-time favorite stories. Each one of these colorways was her inspiration based on the movie Little Women, and I enjoyed every bit of it. I loved the yarn. It has a little bit of cashmere in it, so oof, it's so squishy. And in addition to that, I loved the knit. I would absolutely knit this again. I think it's going to be great. As you can see, I still need to block it. I need to figure out where I have a space big enough to be able to block this out. So that's going to be a thought process. And I still have a lot of ends to sew in, but I am looking forward to having this out on my deck this summer when it gets a little chilly in the evenings. Works in progress. I have several. My first one is the Irish Gold cardigan, which I am knitting in red. It's a pattern, paid for pattern by Joji Locatelli. It's cardigan fingering weight. I am using Crow and Crescent yarn, which is a dyer from Edmonds, Washington. I believe that she is going to be vending at Flock, and her yarn is great, very saturated color, as you can see from this. This always looks a little bit more like a barn red. It's actually a very blue red on camera. It's always hard to get, true colors. Here's what I have started. Here's a little bit of the decoration of it. I'm enjoying this knit very much, but it's going to be a while because it's fingering weight, and that takes a bit, but it's going to be a nice light cardigan I'll probably be able to wear all year round here, which is great. I am knitting it on size 5 needles, which is 3.25 millimeter, and the colorway is called Vengeance. I have notes over here. Get these stitch stoppers at Hook and Needle during the yarn crawl. A little yarn ball. I absolutely love them. And I love stitch stoppers too. No more pulling your project from your bag and having your stitches all come off your needles. It's a great invention. My next work in progress is the Yoke Meditation Series number 4 sweater by Zaneta Knits. It is housed in my bag by Adore Knits. The yarn I'm using is called Purls Before Wine. It's undyed in worsted, and the color yarn is Spincycle Dreamstate in Cloud 9. Again, I found these stitch markers at Hook and Needle. These are little shelties, and I have a little sheltie I absolutely adore. So I was really excited to find them. I am knitting it on number 6 needles, which is 4.25 millimeters. And I can't remember if I mentioned or not, I will place all the information about yarn, needles, etc. in the description box below. And if for any reason I have forgotten to put something, feel free to message me. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have about any of the projects that I'm discussing. My next work in progress is socks. So I always have socks on the needles. Always, always. I love them. My family loves them. So they're great. And it is housed in a very special bag to me. You can see the pattern a little bit more, raindrops. My daughter-in-law made this bag for me as my Easter basket, and it was filled with all sorts of treasures. But I am finding that this size bag is perfect for socks. She put some pockets on the inside that is perfect to put my sock ruler and pencil, and I always have a little crochet hook in there because dropped stitches happen. This is a free pattern on Ravelry called Hermiones Everyday Sock, and it is one of my favorite patterns. It's got enough pattern, it has enough transitions to keep it make it a very interesting knit, and I am on the heel, as you can see. I have a couple more rows and then I'll be ready to turn the heel. I have, to go along with the theme of raindrops, which we're not having very much of, this stitch marker here is by the Littlest Charm Company, and it's a cloud with a little raindrop under it. I must have been thinking that it was going to rain. Usually this time of the year we get a lot of rain and we're not having it. The yarn is by Hypnotic Yarn Plush Sock in How Time Flies. And I actually have one finished that I will put on sock blockers to show you on the next video, because the other one will be finished as well. My last work in progress is, I think I have mentioned several times that my goal this year is to finish whips, to use up yarn that I have, etc. This yarn is by Legacy Fiber Arts. It was an advent 2 years ago, I believe, and it was entitled Children's Bookshelf. And the pattern is a paid-for pattern, and it's the Yorkshire crochet blanket. Each of these squares is a different pattern. So now not only do I have more that I need to finish, so I have picked this project back up, but in addition to that, I have some decisions to make. My biggest decision is what color yarn do I want to do the outline of these squares and the outline of the Afghan. And do I want to use some of that yarn to make plain squares to go in between all of these squares? If you have an opinion, please message me, because I truly have not made a decision. I have probably 10 more squares to do. These are all blocked. I have to obviously put the ends in, but since I finished my anthology throw, I thought, oops, we'll pull out another blanket to get finished. So as I mentioned on my last video, I was able to go take a rosemalling painting class with Bjorg Clivey, who came over from Norway to teach. I've been very blessed to be able to do that about once a year, and I've just really enjoyed it. So I finished my first project, which are little fika or sandwich boards. And they're not varnished yet. They need to be varnished. I find that they film a lot easier with less glare if I don't have the varnish on them. Fika, even though the rosemalling is primarily Norwegian, fika is actually a Swedish tradition. It is an intentional pause during the day. It can happen at any time during the day. It absolutely involves coffee, yum, and a sweet treat of some type. It's meant to slow down, to connect, to socialize, and is pretty mandatory. It happens every day, and I try to incorporate that into my day. It doesn't always involve a sweet treat, but definitely involves coffee. So anyway, the rosemalling on this one is done in greens, kind of a green study. And this one obviously is red. This one was new to me, is black with ochres, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And then, of course, blue, my favorite. And so this can be used for a cup of coffee and put your fika here. I was also envisioning a bowl of soup and a little sandwich, but it's meant to serve. So they'll be varnished and then I'll be able to use them. I'm excited about that. And hopefully I'll have some more to show you next month. I don't typically talk about acquisitions, especially not this year, because I've been trying not to have any and use up what I have. However, I absolutely fell in love with what I'm going to show you next. It was a collaboration between 3 makers, and I just found it beautiful. And since found out more information that made me like it even more. But this is a bag by Robin's Nest Knits, and it's pansies. It's just beautiful. It has a pocket on the inside. It's a really nice size for a sweater or a different project. I found after purchasing this that she actually donates a portion of her proceeds from her bags to an international group that provides funds for women who have lost their husbands in many different manners and find that they need to be supporting their children. And the funds goes to help them purchase sewing machines so they can make things to begin to earn a living. And women helping women, how you can't get better than that. So I was already in love with the bag and now I really love it. They came with this yarn from Leap of Faith yarn, and she kind of pulled some of the colors from the bag, and so it's a sock set, and so I'm really looking forward to doing this. I'm thinking I might do Hermione's socks with this sock pattern again with this. I think it will be absolutely beautiful. I'm looking forward to doing that. And then Hadley Ray Clay made stitch markers that went with it. There's 1 and 3. They're just nice and delicate. Pansies. I love pansies. So this whole thing just spoke to me. In addition, it came with a lovely mother prayer for mothers and some pansy seeds and lip balm, and it was just wonderful. So I will put their information in the description box, and hopefully you'll give them a follow or shop on their websites. I know that Robin's Nest Knits is doing a different bag every month, and they've been beautiful. I think I showed one, I had gotten one that was big surprise blue. So I've enjoyed everything that I've gotten from all 3 of those makers. In the Northwest, we're very blessed to have quite a few different yarn shops, and the one that's closest to me is called Hook and Needle, and this year they're doing a Stitch Every Day in May, which I thought was very fun. And it's on the honor system, but I've been writing every day what I have been knitting, and you do not have to finish anything. It does not cost you anything. It is, as they said, it's about nurturing your craft and making space for creativity. And I love it. You can knit 1 stitch, you can knit a row, you can knit on many projects, you can crochet, spin, etc. And so I've just been enjoying it very much. The other things I wanted to mention is Flock Fiber Festival is in the Seattle area, July 31st, August 1st, and August 2nd. Their merchandise is now for pre-order. Their classes, they're not open for registration yet. However, they are open for preview, and their list of vendors, etc. So I hope if you're in the Seattle area, you will give it a follow or attend if you possibly can. There's all sorts of things, many vendors, there's lectures, etc. I will definitely be going up for at least a day. And so if you see me, please stop me and say hi. I would love to meet as many people as I can. Splash Pad, which is hosted by Downseller Studio, which is Boston Jen, begins on May 22nd. You can go to her website. On my Instagram, I actually have some information as well that I shared, but go to her website or on Ravelry under Downseller Studio, and you can register. They have all the information. Again, no cost. You can participate as much or as little. Whips are allowed, and you just knit and crochet based on how much you finish and how much yarn and things that you use. There's also a Ravelry group that spends a lot of time visiting with each other, so you can meet other knitters and crafters, and great place to just join in and chat, and or if you have questions, etc. It is just a lovely group to belong to. So that's it for me this month. As I mentioned, anything that I have talked about will be in the description box, and just message and say hi. Give me a like and a follow. And in the meantime, stay cozy and crafty. I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.